And joining the conversation now is Behnam Ben Taleblu, a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Now, after all of this, a little bit later, in the middle of the night, Trump posted on the Truth Social platform that he wants to deal with Iran, and that all of these reports that the U.S. and Israel are going to blow Iran into, quote, smithereens are greatly exaggerated. What do you make of a statement like this, a post like this, quite suddenly after everything he said before, and what reports are he referring to? Is he referring to?
Well, I think there's a tendency right now, pleasure to be with you, by the way, there's a tendency right now to project that which any particular audience, foreign or domestic, factional or political, wants from President Trump on Iran policy onto President Trump. But it's critical, I think, to let the president speak for himself, let his words speak for himself, and let the track record speak for himself. Both from when he was a candidate, as well as in term one, as well as campaigning for term two, as well as in term two now, President Trump has talked about his priority being a diplomatic resolution to the Iranian nuclear crisis. While that could be unlikely for a whole host of reasons, there's been a consistent through line there that he seeks dismantlement and disarmament of the Islamic Republic's WMD apparatus. So while others may have projected something onto him, in terms of his maximum pressure campaign, this is what he said he's been consistent in. Now, if you take a look at the presidential memorandum that was signed just the other day, that almost pastes a lot of the content found in the 12 points that Donald Trump and then Secretary Pompeo floated in term one. So I would say there's a fair amount of consistency here, perhaps more consistency than meets the eye. And what we all need to be prepared for is how the adversary responds to this pressure. In term one, Iran contested this pressure. In term two, I think President Trump has to be wary because the Islamic Republic is setting a diplomatic trap for him to try to lure President Trump into negotiations, take advantage of his deal-making wish, take advantage of his desire for diplomacy over war, and try to prevent, actually, a wholesale dismantlement of its atomic infrastructure.
Oh, a diplomatic trap. Now, earlier today, Iran's currency, the rial, plunged to a record low of 850,000 to $1 after Trump's order. How will this maximum pressure campaign likely affect the lives of regular Iranians? And is there a risk that it might feed more anti-Western sentiment and then, hence, support for the regime?
Ironically, no, not at all, even though much of the academic literature and the political kind of hand-wringing we've seen in Western capitals and even in Washington for many years said that if you put foreign pressure on Iran, particularly macroeconomically or things that are broad-based, it would end up negatively impacting the Iranian people. What we've seen actually is that at peak periods of foreign pressure, and the case study really is the term one Trump administration, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, the Iranian people turned out in waves and in mass actually to cheer on that pressure, and in front of government buildings were shouting, "The enemy is here, they lie when they say it's America." So I think Donald Trump, with his maximum pressure policy, has torpedoed the conventional wisdom that foreign support as well for Iranian people and foreign pressure against the Iranian government would somehow be conflated. I think Donald Trump has a real opportunity, should he take it, to reissue maximum pressure and bolster that with maximum support to get the maximum dividend of his new Iran policy.
All right, and here finally, shortly before we let you go, however you put it though, and whoever you want to blame, the fact is that since Trump left the JCPOA and put his maximum pressure campaign on Iran, the country is closer than ever to being able to produce nuclear weapons. Why would his maximum pressure campaign strategy work this time if it essentially failed last time?
It absolutely did not fail last time. In terms of macroeconomics, you can take a look. Donald Trump did in a year and a half macroeconomically more than what a decade plus of multilateral sanctions did. It did not deliver the Iranians to the negotiating table because only a year and a half of a 4-year presidential term was used to green light this large economic coercive pressure policy. Now, you don't have to take that from me. You can also take it from the words of the government of the Islamic Republic. Once Iran's president, then Hassan Rouhani, and thrice Iran's oil minister, Mr. Bijan Namdar Zanganeh, said that the oil sanctions under Trump were more damaging than the the 8-year Iran-Iraq war. This is a war that the regime itself calls the holy defense or the sacred defense. So again, you don't have to take it from me. And the biggest success thus far in term 2 is that while in 2019, Ali Khamenei, Iran's supreme leader, said that he would never negotiate with Trump, he is forced to have to do so today at the start of term 1 in 2025.
All right, Behnam Ben Taleblu, thank you very much for your insight and your analysis this evening.
Thank you.